Okay, so let's go over some core values. Remember, respect, just to appreciate everything that everybody's doing. Remember that you should really respect everything that everybody's going through, including your teachers and classmates. Responsibility. Look, we're doing this for you guys. You guys are there for us. Ignore that it says norm for math class. I forgot to take that out. But just take a sense of responsibility for what you're doing in class. This stuff is important, and we are trying to teach you guys things that are going to be relevant for you in high school. So take the time, be responsible, be in class, and do your work. Integrity, remember, the way we act, the way we speak, honesty, fairness, thoughtfulness, all those things really matter. And also just be consistent in your actions and align your words with the way that you want to be represented best. Courage. Courage is for all of us. This is a brand new experience for all of us, and it takes a lot of courage and confidence to just sort of power through it. But don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to be outspoken. But at the same time, try your hardest. If you can figure it out on your own, great. If you can't, feel free to ask any questions you want. Curiosity, just try and learn. It's something that we've always discussed in our other classes. But really, don't be afraid to learn and experience new things while we're all stuck at home. And lastly, do your best, and that one speaks for itself. Okay, like I said earlier, all eShip classes will be held on Teams, which means that you'll find the link on Teams or in Outlook, and all of your assignments and materials would be in your Google Classroom. Okay, so and one of these next slides is going to have your Google Classroom codes. It's the same classroom that we use during the school year, but in case you, for some reason, weren't in it, the codes will be available, and if you need to pause the screen and look at that code to get into your class, that's great. For some reason you don't remember your section, just let me know and I can figure that out for you. All right, a few more things. All of your classes, including mine, are going to be posted on Monday by 8 a.m., which means that Tuesday and Thursday classes will be posted on there, and they'll be similar to this. And all of your modules and lessons and classwork that I assigned during those class periods need to be submitted by Friday at noon. Okay, so I'm making your assignments super easy. I just want a sentence or two based off what you've learned in my class. And in today's class, you're going to watch a super interesting video, and that'll give you an opportunity to really think about what's going on in the world economy. Just one more reminder, check your email and Teams every day. It says once in the morning and once in the afternoon, but I highly recommend that you're doing it every couple hours. There's a lot of information coming through, and even myself, I have to get myself used to checking my email and Teams very often, because sometimes I come back after 2 hours and I've got like 40 emails. That's not going to happen to you, but some of those emails are super important, and I don't want you to miss them. Okay, if you need to take a look at these, you can pause the screen and find your eShip code. All right, so what I want you to do now is pause the screen, log into your Google Classroom. Don't pause it yet, pause after I'm done, and do your do now. I just want to know what your thoughts are on how the coronavirus has impacted the business world and the world of finances. If for some reason you have no idea how to answer the question, take a few minutes, go online, figure out what's going on around the world, find an article, and just give me 2 sentences with your thoughts based on the question. So right now is a good time to pause the screen and do your do now. Okay, so once you finished your do now, I want you to click the April 9th recorded session in your Google Classroom. Now, if you're watching the recording from the beginning, then you can stay on this recording. But if you're in my live class, I want you to scroll down and click the one that starts right here. All right, so welcome to your first online eShip class. As the Joker would say, welcome to insanity. This is crazy. We're all going through it together, and honestly, I got to be honest, it kind of sucks at sometimes, but there are also a lot of valuable things that we can learn together as a community while we're working on making sure that you get an education and that your teachers are providing the assistance that you need to make sure that you're ready to get to 9th grade. Okay, so I wanted to sort of pick up where we left off. If you look at this slide, this is the exact slide that we finished off on 3 weeks ago, or almost 4 weeks ago now. We talked about all the different aspects of business that are going to be impacted by coronavirus. And now that it's been 4 weeks since we've had this conversation, all of these topics, the information available and the repercussions of coronavirus are very apparent now. Before we were speculating, especially when we're talking about supply chains, labor, production, supply and demand, all those things that are listed there. But now we know the effects of what coronavirus has done ever since we've all been under quarantine. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is click the first video. I'm not going to click it on the live session because I'm having issues loading, but I want you to click the first video, pause the presentation, and then come back when you're ready. Okay, so based on the video, what they talked about was supply chains. While we were in class a few weeks ago, supply chains was one of the main things we were talking about. And one of the things I was explaining to you was that there are so many different links in a supply chain that create a product going from manufacturing down to either, like it says here, mass market, broad market, core market, or flagship. Flagship would probably most likely be like a small business. Mass market would be something like Walmart, and everything in between. Okay, so everything starts up here at the manufacturing. It goes down into goods and distribution. Distribution brings it to wholesale. Wholesale are the people that basically take those products in mass quantities and distribute it to these companies. Okay, but the problem with what's going on today is that every link of the supply chain is suffering. So manufacturers are not really manufacturing as heavily as they were before. When manufacturing isn't happening, it's impossible to get those goods in the quantities that we want. And that goes down into supply and demand, like we spoke about. If the supply is low and the demand is high, we're in trouble. Okay, if the supply is high and the demand is low, the company's in trouble, and that's really something that has to do with the product that they've decided to sell. But in this case, we're talking about the first one. All right, supply is low, demand is high, and we're talking about a lot of things in here. We're not just talking about toilet paper like you guys always want to talk about, which, by the way, is still not available. We're talking about food chains. We're talking about basic needs that people have, and we don't have enough supply. And right now, it's not as bad as it's going to get if this continues. All right, so I wanted to give you a couple of examples of what a food supply chain looks like and why this is a problem today. So if you start up here in the green box, you look at the farmer. So it goes from the farmer to the warehouse to the process, distributor, retailer, consumer. Every one of these chains right now is suffering. Okay, farmers are suffering because they don't have enough labor. On top of the fact that when you're restricted on all the other supply chains that entail a farmer having what he needs or what she needs, those are suffering too. So farmers are suffering, and that's where it's starting. That's the starting point. Warehouses, you might not have the labor, you might not have the employees to fill the warehouses with the product. Okay, you might have people doing it, but you definitely don't have as many people doing it as they were doing it before. The mill and the processor, okay, this is where the food gets processed. A lot of these places aren't functioning right now, and if they are, they're functioning on a very small level. So again, you start from just these three, and everything is sort of messed up. Once it gets to the distributor, first of all, that means that there's not enough product. And second of all, what happens when it gets to the distributor? The distributors, a lot of their places are closed. They don't have enough drivers. They've had to lay off a lot of people. They don't have enough money to pay people. So what happens? What happens is that all three of those first links don't feed into the fourth link correctly. And when the distributor doesn't have enough to distribute, the problem really becomes big when not enough food is getting to the real retailer and the supermarket. Okay, and then it all funnels down to us, which are the consumers. So I don't know if you guys have been to any grocery stores lately. First of all, there's crazy lines, and that's not really has anything to do with supply chain. That has to do with the fear and anxiety that we were talking about in the slide before. But if you go in there, sometimes you're looking for something and you go to a shelf and the whole shelf is empty. Right? Well, what if that's like a basic need of yours? Okay, so now you have to figure out alternative solutions, right? So these are things that start to snowball. So once they become super prevalent and everything is scarce, and scarce means that there's not enough of it, it becomes a problem. And we're seeing it globally, and we're also seeing it in our local communities. Here's another example of the food supply chain. This is just sort of a different graphic, but if you look at all of these, every single one of these is hurting. Okay, every single one of these chains is not functioning correctly, and the more time that goes by, and the more time that these entities are dysfunctional, the bigger problem it becomes for us. And it's going to impact not only the supply, but it's going to impact the world economy, and it's also going to impact the behavior of people. Okay, the longer that these supply chains are struggling, the more issues are going to come about. I want to make sure that you understand. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to make you understand what's going on out there, because before I did the research for this seminar, I also didn't know a lot of this information. And it's just good to know, to have the information at hand. The more information you have, the better decisions you can make. Okay, so that's most of the presentation. What I want you to do now is to log in to Google Classroom again and find Exit Ticket for Thursday, April 9th. There's a super, super interesting video. It's 7 minutes long. I want you to watch the whole thing. It is a little anxiety inducing. It's kind of scary what's going on with the world economy, but the more information you have, the better decisions that you can make. Okay, when we're on the live session, when I'm in the live classroom, after you've watched that video, I'll be available for you guys to answer any questions you might have. And I'll also be on from 1:40 to 2:40. And that goes for every Tuesday and Thursday. So as long as you are engaged and interested in the information, I'll be there to answer questions and engage in dialogue. Otherwise, thank you, and I'll see you on Tuesday. And feel free to reach out to me at any point during the weekdays.